Welcome Freedom Builders back to the channel. This is Hans Nielsen and today we're going to look at Virgin Galactic and we're going to look at if it is the new Tesla. Well, as you know, this channel is about building wealth and of course if we see an opportunity with a company with a stock that is going to rise a lot, of course we should consider it. The reason why I take up Virgin Galactic is that I have gotten a ton of questions about it in the last days and weeks, and I am comparing it to Tesla. You might ask yourself why I'm doing that, but if you're looking at the price chart here, we can see that Virgin Galactic with the ticker symbol SPCE, like space, has gone absolutely absurdly much up here. We can see that from the bottom here in December, it is now up, 320%. So a nice profit there. And the reason for me comparing it to Tesla, of course, if you've forgotten how the Tesla price went up, it is pretty much the same steep curve we see here. So let's have a look at the Virgin Galactic. What is it? Do they make money? And is it a sound investment? If you haven't done already, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification and the like button and all that down below. And then we'll tell the YouTube algorithm that you like videos like this. So, Virgin Galactic. Well, Virgin Galactic is started and run by one of my favorite heroes when I grew up wanting to be a business owner and doing business for myself, and that is Richard Branson, or should I say Sir Richard Branson, because he was actually made a Sir in UK for all his work and business activities. This man is a pure genius in self-promoting. And I'll get back to that part a bit later, because that might also have a big role to play here in the Virgin Galactic. But what he's actually doing, or what their goal is to start space tourism. What they want to do is that they want to, from the desert Mojave spaceport, they are sending up a kind of a double plane with a little spaceship here in the middle. And they are flying that up to 15 kilometers altitude, where they are dropping the spaceship here in the middle. And that one is accelerating up, going up with 4,000 kilometers per hour, up to around 110 kilometers altitude, 360,000 feet. And that is the official, or above the official edge of space, as it is called here. So people are actually getting into space. Of course, they're not going to the moon or going to Mars or anything like that, but they are in space. They are having weightlessness, zero gravity and so on for a short while, and then it is going back down, unpowered glide here, back and landing. The price for this is a measly $250,000, which of course narrows down the potential customer base quite a lot. So let's just have a quick look here at what they are actually doing. We can see here what we do, and there's some nice space pilot pictures here, using space for good. And of course this is all about doing good for humanity. They can see that they want to open up space to everyone, which is nice. They want democratizing space. I'm not even sure what that is all about. Why we go, the purpose here. If we're looking at that, we can see Richard Branson here again. While we go, well, they want to explore, they want to inspire. They even got this girl, what's she called, Malala, a Nobel Prize girl here, to talk about the Virgin Galactic. What I mean here is this Richard Branson is very, very good at promoting. So this is of course all about missions and visions, and it is all looking good. But let's just have a look at some more specific numbers. But because of we are of course interested in the numbers if we should buy the Virgin Galactic stock here. So if you're looking at this one, and I'll put a link to this article down below the video. This is from Spacenews.com, and we can see Virgin Galactic projects rapid growth and profitability after going public. They did go public. They made a kind of a merger with the SCH, a special group, so that they could get an IPO a lot cheaper. It's all described in here. So let's see what is actually interesting to us here. Because, let's see, here it comes. That presentation showed that Virgin Galactic expects significant growth over the next several years. The company now expects to begin commercial service in the first or second quarter of 2020. That is this year, ladies and gentlemen. Space tourism is real and is going up in the air this year. Maybe here first quarter or second quarter. They will be performing 16 flights by the end of 2020, carrying 66 customers and producing a $31 million revenue from these customers and other sources. Okay, 31 million. Just to jump quickly to the Stockopedia platform here, to look at what they have actually produced so far. They have produced nothing, and of course it has all been an invention project. It has been not really a business project up until now. It has all been putting money in, so we cannot really learn anything from these numbers other than they have not produced any profits whatsoever. Of course, what we can learn here is that the market cap is right now just around 2.2 billion euro, meaning around $2.5 billion. And I'll get back to that number later because that is a bit important to us. But that was a 21 million in revenue this year. They're expecting a loss of $104 million here in 2020 and a break even in 21, which it would be amazing. And they would reach $274 million in earnings in 2023. That would be 3 years from now. They would produce about $250 million in profit. All right. Is that the only thing they'll make money on? No, not necessarily. They are describing down here, while ticket sales will be the primary sources of revenue, the presentation noted the potential for extra revenue sources such as premium products and services for customers, experiences for the family and friends of customers, and so on and so on. That is of course okay, but Richard Branson has even wilder plans, because what he is saying down here is that while the near-term business plan for Virgin Galactic is focused primarily on space tourism, the presentation states that the ultimate application of the technology will be for high-speed point-to-point transportation. A Virgin hypersonic jet could travel at Mach 5, and if you don't know what Mach 5 is, that is just bloody fast, enabling trips from Los Angeles to Tokyo in just 2 hours versus 11 hours today. And then they are thinking about tapping into this big commercial aviation market currently valued at $900 billion a year. All right, so that is way, way far into the future. I would not take this one into consideration right now if we should just look at, should we buy some stocks in Virgin Galactic? Well, my point here is, or my idea is that if you would like to buy this SPCE here, the Virgin Galactic stocks right now, you would do it only for speculation, purely for speculation, because what they're actually saying is they'll lose money this year, they'll break even next year, and maybe they will have a profit in 2023. I just put some numbers together. With the market cap of $2.5 billion, price per trip $250,000, they would have around 1,500 persons going through in 2023, and that would give a yearly revenue around 375 million. They must have some extra revenue streams, because what they are coming up with is $600 million in yearly revenue stream, or 575, something like that, in in let me see, in 2023, and that would make a profit, a margin at almost 50%, $275 million per year. Now, if we are comparing that to the market cap right now at $2.5 billion, that would give roughly a PE of 9, meaning that the price earning, what you're actually paying is that you're paying $9 for each dollar of profit. That is actually fair enough for an experimental company like this, but you should consider something. You should consider that this profit, we are talking you putting money into the stock right now, and then it produces maybe a profit in 3 years. So your money will be dead money from now and the next 3 years. Of course, unless it goes absolutely berserk and have a 10x and goes to 200 or 300 or 1,000 like the Tesla the stock is going up. So if you're buying in now, you can actually get a good deal if they are starting to produce profits in 2023, if you can accept that your money will be dead money for the next 3 years and then starting to make 10-11% per year. But I have a feeling that the people putting money into Virgin Galactic right now are actually not putting money into the stock to get 10 or 11% per year. They are, well, practically going for the moon, you could say. Not the, of course, the real moon, but in stock price terms, going for to the moon, like the Bitcoin, like all of the bubbles. They are buying in now because it is really exploding. So if you wait, let's say a year, because you don't want to have your money lying dead for 3 years, so you're waiting a year, you might see a price at 100 or 200, and then of course the PE would be maybe 90 or 100 or 200, and that would be a completely other ball game. So you have the choice of going in now, risking your money for 3 years, and then maybe make 10% per year. And of course, maybe a lot more in 10 or 20 or 30 years if this commercial airline thing is really coming through. But that is very risky to get 10 or 11%, to be honest. Or you could wait and see, I want to see a profit first, but then the price could have 10 doubled or 100 doubled. So that is kind of the thing you have to choose from here. But I can't say 100% with certainty I'm not buying the Virgin Galactic. I think it is a great project, and I completely love Richard Branson. Like I love Elon Musk, but that doesn't mean that I'm buying the stock. Because about $1 trillion thing can happen from now and then 3 years out in time. For instance, Virgin Galactic had an accident in 2015 where, I don't know, 1 or 2 of the pilots were actually killed. If a thing like that happens, you can say goodbye to the stock price. It would completely plummet and you would get no celebrities getting up into the plane. Right now, I have heard names like Brad Pitt and a couple of other celebrities that have booked their tickets for some of the first flights. And Richard Branson is also going on one of the first flights. So he must be pretty certain that this is good quality. But if something like this should happen, you can say goodbye to the entire business model for the next many, many years. So I'm not saying that this is a bad business for Richard Branson. Because if you study a bit about Richard Branson, he has, as I mentioned in the beginning, he has been a complete genius in self-promotion. And back 25 years ago, he made some really crazy stunts. For instance, he was the first, I think it was, or at least the fastest, to fly over the Atlantic Ocean in a hot air balloon. And after that, I think he actually completed a tour all around the world, or at least almost. But he also went around the world in a hot air balloon. He also, I think he set the record for the fastest travel in boat over the Atlantic Ocean. And all of these adventures almost all got him killed in a dozen different ways. But every time he did it with the Virgin brand tattooed all over the product. There was not a single inch of his balloons or his clothes or his caps or his whatever boats where you didn't see the Virgin brand logo. So I have a feeling that Richard Branson, in the back of his mind, is saying to himself, well, this Virgin Galactic might be a fantastic adventure, and it might even turn a profit at some point. But you know what? In the process, every time that the news is showing a Virgin rocket, he is promoting his 400 different Virgin brands. So there's Virgin Money and Virgin Limo and Virgin Casinos and Virgin Airlines and Virgin Cola and you name it, Virgin everything. So even though this space adventure doesn't work out for him and produce a profit, then he get all of his other Virgin brands branded, and all of us using Virgin Bingo or listening to Virgin Radio or whatever, we can kind of feel like we are a part of that adventurous company that Branson really stands for. So I think that this galactic product is pure genius from his side. However, I'm not so certain that it will be pure genius to invest in them. Personally, I would much rather prefer buying some lottery tickets, because I do not see this being really a solid, good investment, at least if you want to build freedom, build a long-term growth in your portfolio. This is purely speculation, and there is quite a big risk that it will actually be like pouring your money straight into the toilet. However, there is a couple of benefits, of course, buying it, because if he really succeeds, then as an old man or woman, you can sit with your grandchildren and say, hey, I was at the frontier, I was financing the first space travels, space tourism into space, of course. And that, of course, is a benefit you can reap in 50 years or so. Another benefit, and that is just something I have for myself personally, I get my Facebook feed and I don't know what flooded with people saying that the Earth is flat. And I have a feeling that from 110 kilometers altitude, you would actually be able to see the curvature of the globe. So sending people up in 110 kilometers altitude could finally get us the answer for just normal people, not just astronauts, showing that the world is a globe or it is flat, and then we can stop that ludicrous discussion. All right, so the conclusion here is I would personally not touch Virgin Galactic, not right now. Maybe if they got some real business up and running and profits and all of that stuff, then of course I could consider it as I can consider any other business. But right now it is an adventure, it is a dream project, it is something that you buy into, like Tesla, like many of the others, where you can say this might be the future, this might be the winner, this might be something that makes me 1,000%. But that's not what I'm going for. Of course, I would like 1,000%, but that is not what I'm planning with my investments. I'm planning steady growth, which will give me a much more certain financial future than betting on lottery tickets like this. That is my opinion about it, and you are, of course, welcome to disagree. And I bet that some of you will tear me down just like you did when I made the video about why I didn't want to invest in Tesla. So I have a feeling that there are a bit more emotions into the Tesla thing than the Virgin Galactic. But I'll bet I'll get a couple of spicy comments about how I simply do not understand space travel, which is not so wrong after all. So that's all for now. Remember to subscribe to the channel. And I am crossing my fingers for Branson and the Virgin Galactic. I am hoping for space tourism. I think it is fantastic. I'm just not buying into it right now. That's all for now. Talk to you again soon. Take care of your money out there. Bye.